Hello. Now we're going to move on to Chapter 2. Chapter 2 discusses the overview of the speech making process. So, how do we start? How do we develop? And then how do we end? All right, so for this chapter, you will really want to go to the textbook, Chapter 2, and focus on Figure 2.1. And it has a diagram that kind of has a stair-stepper approach, and it will list every step in the process, which will help you to understand where you begin and how you develop as you continue your speech. So the first step in developing any good speech is to analyze the audience. Why is that so important? Well, every decision that you make in the speech making process will essentially involve who you are speaking to. That goes in terms of choosing your topic. That could be in terms of what examples or what jokes or what stories you choose to include. You never want to isolate anybody. You never want to offend anybody in your audience. So you need to have a good understanding of who will be in your audience. That could be, the demographics in terms of age. That could be, racial. That could be social class, educational background. You want to have a wide array of information on your audience as much as possible. So that's the first step in developing a good speech. Once you've analyzed your audience and you figure out who it is that you are speaking to, then you can choose your topic. In this class, I will in most situations not assign you a topic because I want your topic to be based on your personal interests, hobbies, and passions. If you care about the topic, then it will come through in your speech. Always pick something that you care about. Do not just do a random Google search for top informative speech topics. I have heard it done many times. It never comes out well. You want to start with something that you are interested in. So once you select your topic, then you're going to see, again, check it in light of the audience. Will this really work? Is it something that I'm passionate about and that I can convey to the audience in a good, meaningful way? Once you do that, you have your topic, then you're going to move on to developing your thesis statement. Your thesis statement, as you may remember from English class, is just one central idea, and you have that written in one sentence. So if we could sum up your whole speech in one sentence, what message do you want to convey to the audience? Okay, that will help you to keep your purpose always in mind. Anything that doesn't connect to the thesis should not be included in your speech. All right, so now you have your speech, you have your thesis idea, you have your topic and your thesis. Then you're going to develop your main ideas or your key points. A little hint for this area. You do not want to have too many main points. Why is that? Because the audience will forget it. If you are having a long list of, the 10 top ways to reinvent yourself, the audience cannot take that all 10 ways in a meaningful way. They probably will only remember 2 or 3 of the 10 things that you list in that speech. So just give them 2 or 3. That is my recommendation. Always stick to 2 to 3 main points and then just develop those points very well. Tell stories, and that's when you go to your next step. You gather supporting materials. So you find stories, you find illustrations, you find testimonies, statistics, all kinds of different information. You start researching your topic to help develop your main points. All right? Then you're going to outline your speech. This is that going back to the canons of rhetoric, organizing and making sure that each main idea is supported, that everything you say is connected to each main idea and you're not going off topic. All right. Then once you've outlined, you may want to start considering using presentational aids. That could include electronic, so a PowerPoint or a Prezi, or it could be, you actually have an item of it as your presentational aid. And that may help to illustrate things a little bit better. And then you are going to practice. Practice does not always make perfect, but it is essential to practice over and over. And it's always best to practice in front of an audience, whether that be an audience of one or two of your friends. But as long as there's somebody who will be honest in their feedback with you, you don't want somebody who will just say, "Oh, yeah, great job," and they really haven't listened to what you had to say. Make sure that they will give you honest and constructive feedback. All right, so that's chapter 2. It just sort of takes you an overview. As we go through, we'll talk about each area a little bit more in depth, but just understand that that's a brief overview, okay, of chapter 2, and that tells you how you develop a speech from A to Z. Thanks.